Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa is out for at least 5 weeks after suffering his third concussion in 2 years. He collided with the Bills' defensive back, Hamlin, leading to that third career concussion. The QB sustained 2 traumatic brain injuries during the 2022 season. He's 26 years old, expected now to be meeting with neurologists this week to evaluate this latest injury and also the future of his NFL career. The Dolphins star will be out at least until October 27th. He'll then have to complete a series of exams and tests before making his return to the field. And, you know, he and his family having that discussion about whether or not he does. Joining me now from more board-certified neurologist, Dr. Chad Domangue. Thank you, doctor, for being back with us. You know, I'm thinking about the questions I would have if this was my loved one, my son, my husband, and I'd be concerned about their future on the field. And I know that's what his family is talking about as well. From a neurological standpoint, what makes Tua's case different from others?
Yeah, I mean, this is literally the multi-million-dollar question, right? And I think when you're looking at Tua's case, as we talked about earlier this week, you know, why is Tua getting these concussions over and over again? You know, I watch boxing, I watch UFC, I'm an avid football fan, and we see many athletes get worse injuries, worse head trauma, and so forth, and they're not having these recurrent concussions of Tua, and not just the recurrent concussions, but the fencing posture, what we call decorticate or decelerate. So these are higher signs that his brain stem, his brain is getting injured. So that is exactly the question that I have. And obviously, you know, I'm no different than the rest of us, even being a physician. I don't have his MRI scans, I don't have all his medical data, but that is ultimately the question here is what is separating Tua from these other players that are getting head trauma at a higher rate, but yet not getting the clinical manifestations that we see with Tua.
What's happening inside the brain, though, and that would be just over any case when you see that rigidness on the field that you just described, when someone is concussed and has that versus someone who's concussed and walks off on their own, what's the difference? What's happening with the brain?
Yeah, so I actually have a brain here. So what we're describing with concussions, there's a part of our brain called the reticular activating system. So it allows us to be awake. So it requires a cortex, which is the outer part, but it goes into the inner part, which is the brainstem. And so when you see a decorticate posturing, it means it's a higher portion of the brainstem damage. When you see the extension, it means it's a lower portion, so it's a more severe injury. So when you see that kind of posturing, it means the damage to the brain is not just to the top, but it's going down to the deeper levels, right? And that is the major issue with Tua. It's not just a concussion, it's multiple concussions. We know that with the CTE, TBI data, that the recurrent concussions are what we're most fear of. But not just that, but the severity as well as the posturing and the higher levels of brain function that he's losing with these level of concussions.
Yeah, and it's cumulative then, right? So the brain maybe doesn't quite heal, but then the question becomes a fourth, a fifth concussion. I mean, life-altering, right, is the potential. A brain injury is a brain injury.
Yeah, you know, and that's the issue, right? It's easy for us to have these conversations. I mean, let's not forget, this is a 26-year-old young male that dedicated his entire life to be at this level. And let's say he has a 20 or 30% chance of getting dementia later on in life. Is that enough to walk away from? It would be for me. Is it enough for the NFL to say, hey, listen, you know, 20, 30, 40% chance, whatever the number is, of dementia? Do we want this player playing, even if he wants to take that chance? There's just so many questions, and the science is just not exact with TBIs that it just makes it difficult as opposed to, yeah, he needs to retire. There's just a lot of information here.
Right. And the other question that people often ask is just protect the head, right? But there's more to it when it comes to a concussion than just protecting the head with a certain type of helmet.
Well, it's a great point, and I think that's the other concerning part of Tua is this is not 1980, right? We're not putting the smelling salt between their nose to wake them up. We have better helmets, we have better safety. So the fact that he's getting this many severe concussions in today's world, where we do have higher safety, we're doing a better job of screening these athletes, that's just a whole nother element that makes Tua case that much more severe and dangerous than a normal concussed athlete.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's going to be up to him how and if he continues. Dr. Domangue, thanks for your expertise. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.